MIL tried to sabotage my marriage with fake photos to get her daughter to marry a richer man. Hey everyone, this is a wild story that I just had to share. Buckle up, because it's a roller coaster of deceit, betrayal, and ultimately, sweet revenge. So, to give you some context, my name is Jake, and I work as a software engineer. I make decent money, not millionaire status, but we're comfortable. My wife, Emily, and I have been married for 3 years, and things have been going great, until recently. My mother-in-law, Linda, has always been a bit much. From the beginning, she made it clear that she thought Emily deserved better. In her eyes, better meant wealthier. Linda always envisioned her daughter marrying a rich man, someone who could provide a luxurious lifestyle. I'm no pauper, but I guess I didn't fit her ideal. Things came to a head a few months ago when Linda decided to take matters into her own hands. One evening, Emily came home visibly upset. She had been to her mother's for their usual weekly visit. But this time, something was different. Emily confronted me with some photos Linda had shown her. These pictures supposedly showed me with another woman, looking pretty cozy. I was stunned. The woman in the photos was a complete stranger to me. Emily was devastated and, despite my protests and explanations, she initially believed her mother. Linda had always been a strong influence in her life, and this betrayal cut deep. Emily needed space to process everything. She moved out for a while to stay with a friend, which was heart-wrenching for both of us. During this time, we barely communicated, and I felt like my world was falling apart. The thought of losing Emily over something so blatantly false was unbearable. I decided to hire a private investigator to get to the bottom of the photos. If I could prove they were fake, I hoped to save my marriage. Update 1. The private investigator worked quickly. Within a couple of weeks, he discovered that the photos were doctored. But that wasn't all. He found evidence that linked Linda to a wealthy man named Richard, who had been obsessed with Emily since their college days. Richard had always been infatuated with Emily, but she never reciprocated his feelings. He saw his chance and took advantage of Linda's dislike for me. He bribed her to create those fake photos, hoping it would cause a rift between Emily and me, and he could swoop in. I compiled all the evidence and approached Emily. She was shocked and initially didn't want to believe it. But as I laid out the timeline and showed her the messages between Linda and Richard, the truth started to sink in. The private investigator had even gathered a video of Richard and Linda meeting and discussing how their plans seemed to work. The betrayal from her mother was almost too much for her to bear. Emily confronted Linda, who, after a lot of pressure, admitted to everything. The betrayal was too much for Emily to bear. She decided to go no contact with Linda, a decision that was incredibly difficult but necessary for our sanity. Linda tried to justify her actions, claiming she was only looking out for her daughter's best interests, but Emily wasn't having any of it. She saw through the manipulation and decided to cut her mother out of our lives. Emily was devastated, not just by her mother's actions, but also by the fact that she had doubted me. It took time, but we started rebuilding our trust. Therapy sessions helped, and slowly but surely, we began to heal. Update 2. Now, here's the twist that makes all this drama worth it. A few weeks after cutting ties with Linda, Emily and I found out that we're expecting a baby. This news has brought us so much joy and has solidified our bond even more. We're excited about the future and ready to face anything together. The prospect of becoming parents has given us a new sense of purpose and happiness. As for Richard and Linda, I made sure Richard knew that his actions were not only despicable but also pathetic. I sent him a stern warning, letting him know that he should stay far away from us. He's been completely cut out of our lives, and Linda is left to reflect on her actions in solitude. Emily's pregnancy has added an extra layer of determination to our resolve. We want to create a safe and loving environment for our child, free from toxic influences. To anyone dealing with a toxic in-law or someone trying to sabotage your relationship, my heart goes out to you. It's a difficult situation, but remember to trust in the strength of your relationship and communicate openly. So, that's my story. What do you think? Have you ever dealt with a toxic in-law or someone trying to sabotage your relationship? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more crazy tales, please like and subscribe to stay updated on future videos. Thanks for listening.